Ghost Stories. Welcome. Hello and welcome to ASMR Ghost Stories. If you enjoy being just a little bit scared, then welcome. All of my stories are told in either soft spoken or whispered. So before you go ahead and put on your earphones to enjoy the ASMR experience, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you're enjoying this so I know, and it can be shared to all kinds of people around the world that enjoy these kind of stories. Also hit the notification bell because I do upload on Mondays and Thursdays. So now let's just go ahead and dive right in. Here are some of the most haunted places in the UK. Number 1. Ancient Ram Inn, Gloucestershire. Dating back to the 12th century, the ancient Ram Inn has often been referred to as the most haunted house in Britain. The house is said to have been the location of many sinister happenings, including I'm hoping I can say this word, child sacrifice, unalivement of thyself, I can't say that word either, and black magic rituals, and was also used as a hideout for criminals. The building is home to all sorts of spooks, 2 demons, a witch, orbs, and other ghostly presences. And many people who have visited the property have described it as the scariest place they have ever visited. The house regularly opens its doors to ghost hunters, but you must book in advance. Number 2. Pendle Hill, Lancashire. Pendle Hill is located in an area known as Pendleside. It's famous for its links to George Fox, which led to the foundation of the Quaker movement. A Bronze Age burial site was also discovered at the foot of the hill, and it was also home to the Pendle Witches, prompting many people to visit the site in search of ghosts and spirits. Most Haunted visited the site in 2004 for a live episode. Yvette Fielding maintains that it was the scariest episode of Most Haunted that they have ever filmed. So Pendle Hill is notorious for its history in witchcraft and worshipping the devil. Today, various tours trace the witches from their arrest to their execution. The Pendle Hill witches are said to haunt the buildings and villages still. Visitors have reported feeling anger when visiting the grounds. Local people even fear discussing the events during the witch trial. Over the years, Pendle Hill has been featured in the show Most Haunted, among several other TV shows and ghost tours. Members of the television crew reported being hurt. Some even said that unseen hands strangled them. The medium Derek Akora reported contacting Elizabeth Device, one of the accused witches. Elizabeth told them that there were 9 more spirits in the room, and none of the spirits wanted the crew present. In addition to the stories of the witches, there are believed to be several other spirits that haunt this barren hillside. Investigators have often reported contacting children and the ghost of those who have sadly unalived themselves in the area. Number 3, Borley Rectory, Essex. Now, I did a video on this not too long ago, so check it out. Borley Rectory was a Victorian mansion in the pretty village of Borley, Essex. It was destroyed by fire in 1939, but gained a reputation as being the most haunted location in the country after a series of locals reported some unexplained paranormal goings-on. The hauntings at Borley caught the nation's attention when the hauntings were covered in the Daily Mirror and by noted paranormal investigator Harry Price. Then, June 1929, one of the country's most famous haunted houses was born. The first indication that something paranormal was happening at the house was footsteps heard in the dead of night in the 1860s. The ghost of a nun, 2 headless horsemen, a phantom carriage, the phantom ringing of the servants' bells, and bottle throwing are just some of the paranormal incidents reported at Borley. Number 4, Barry Pomeroy Castle, Devon. Barry Pomeroy Castle is known for being a picturesque castle and an even more picturesque town. Still, the pretty facade hides a sinister secret. The castle is haunted and is reported as being one of the most haunted places in Devon. 2 female ghosts, the White Lady and the Blue Lady, are said to haunt the castle. The White Lady is said to haunt the dungeons. The Blue Lady is said to haunt the tower, luring passers-by to her aid. And if they help her, it is said that they fall to their death. So the White Lady is the restless soul of Margaret Pomeroy. She haunts the dungeons of St. Margaret's Tower and has been seen waving to visitors. She was held captive in the castle dungeons by her sister Eleanor because of jealousy and starved to death in the dungeons. The Blue Lady lures people into various parts of the castle and gets them lost. People believe that she is the ghost of the daughter of one of the Norman castle lords. She was essayed by her father and became pregnant with his baby. Her father unalived the child in one of the rooms of the castle. Other tales say that it was she who unalived the child. She has become the death portent of the Seymours. People have witnessed strange lights in the castle. Voices have been heard, and cold spots in the castle have been reported too. There are also the apparitions of a lady wearing a gray dress and a cavalier, as well as ghostly shadows. Number 5, and I'm hoping I'm saying this right, Ballygally Castle, County Antrim, Northern Ireland. Located on the shores of County Antrim, the stunning Ballygally Castle dates back to 1625 and is steeped in history. It's haunted by the spirit of Lady Isabel Shaw, who fell to her death more than 400 years ago. Her husband, Lord James Shaw, locked her in a room at the top of the castle when she failed to produce a male heir. Left to starve, she was trying to escape when the tragic fall occurred. Her spirit is said to wander the hotel to this day, knocking on doors and appearing in rooms, then disappearing. Many other ghosts call Ballygally Castle home. Madam Nixon, a woman that lived there in the 19th century, has been seen and heard walking around the castle in a silk dress. There are also the spirits of children that have been heard running and giggling in the hotel's rooms. A mysterious green mist has also been reported hovering above the castle. Ballygally Castle Hotel is proud of its resident ghost, dedicating a room to her in one of the towers in the older part of the castle. Number 6. Woodchester Mansion, Gloucestershire. Woodchester Mansion is an unfinished Gothic revival mansion in Gloucestershire. Whilst it looks complete from the outside, inside several rooms, lots of plaster and whole floors are missing. Over the years, it has gained a reputation as a haunted location. Several paranormal sightings have been reported, including a phantom horseman, the tall man of the chapel, and a ghost in the cellar. Ghosts have attacked some visitors to the mansion, and others have collapsed, whilst women who have been to the bathroom have reported seeing a floating head, the ghost of a little girl, and the spirit of an elderly woman has also been spotted on the site. So the haunted reputation of Woodchester Mansion has led it to be featured in several paranormal television programs. It was featured on TV's Most Haunted Live in 2003, and then again in 2005. It has also been featured on Ghost Hunters International and several more paranormal TV shows. Several sightings have been reported over the last 200 years. In 1902, a vicar was reported to have seen a strange apparition at the mansion's gates. A phantom horseman has also been seen on the mansion's drive. It is said that the mansion itself is the epicenter of all the haunting happening in the area. There's the tall man of the chapel, which has been seen many times, and the elemental in the house's cellar. The mansion is said to be the home of some of the scariest ghosts in the United Kingdom. Visitors have collapsed and have been attacked by the ghostly dwellers of the mansion. There's a floating head that has been seen by many visitors in the bathroom. There's also the specter of an old woman who likes to attack female visitors by grabbing them in the dark. It is said that the reason why the mansion is haunted is that it stands on the site of the 3 previous buildings which are also haunted. The mansion has its own chapel, and satanic rituals have been reported in the chapel. People have reported hearing a woman singing an Irish folk song in the scullery. The ghost of a young girl has been seen several times playing and running up and down the stairs of the mansion's first floor. Number 7. Pluckley Village, Kent. Pluckley Village has a reputation for being the most haunted village in England, and it was named just that by the Guinness Book of World Records in 1989. Between 12 and 16 ghosts have reported in the village, including a screaming man, a highwayman who appears at Fright Corner, a schoolmaster found hanged by a group of children, and an old woman who used to sit on the bridge smoking. Pluckley has been featured on numerous television programs and is a favorite spot for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts across the country. Number 8, I should say. Mary King's Close, Edinburgh. Buried deep beneath the ancient streets of the Royal Mile, Mary King's Close in Edinburgh is thought to be the most haunted place in Edinburgh and one of the most haunted places in Scotland. This unique location has a dark and mysterious past, with the first ghost sightings dating to the 17th century. During the plague epidemic in 1645, it's believed half of the population of Edinburgh died. The disease was rampant in Mary King's Close due to the lack of proper sanitation and the cramped tenements. One of the most famous ghosts to haunt here is a 10-year-old girl named Annie who died of the plague. Visitors to this day leave dolls and sweets for her in her old home. There is also a well-respected lawyer, Thomas Coulthard. I think I'm saying that right, Coulthard. And his family were one of those that refused to leave. It is reported they were almost driven mad by images of disembodied limbs, a formless phantom of a child, and the ghost of a gruesome-looking dog that would curl up on a chair. A well-known Japanese medium visited the close when it was reopened to the public, and she contacted the little girl, Annie, who is one of the ghosts of Mary King's Close. The medium felt a tug on her coat as she left one of the rooms. As she looked back, she saw a small girl crying in the corner. The little girl said she had died during the sickness of 1645, and the troubled child talked of a doll she had lost, and she was lonely without it. Moved, the medium left her a doll, and ever since, visitors often leave dolls and gifts in the corner of the room where the girl was seen. Number 9. Athelhampton House, Dorset. Athelhampton House is located in Dorset and is thought to be one of the most haunted places in England. A pair of duelists haunt the great chamber where they once interrupted a female guest by fighting. Tapping sounds have been heard coming from the wine cellar, whilst the ghost of the Grey Lady has been seen around the house on numerous occasions. The padding sound of a phantom cat's feet have also been heard on the bare floorboards around the house. So to elaborate on some of the stories, one report that stands out at this location is the pair of duelists in the great chamber. One day, a woman was trying to relax and read a book in the great hall when two unknown men burst into the chamber in the middle of a sword fight. The woman continually pulled on the bell rope for the servants, but nobody arrived. She turned to her side and continued reading while the fighting continued until one of the men were cut on the arm and left the room. Later that day, the woman reported the incident to the owner, and he replied, puzzled at the whole thing. He stated, "I can't understand who the men were you had seen, as all the guests of the hotel were here at tea, so you would have seen them. Still, the two men have never been identified, although the house is believed to have had connections to the Royalists during the Civil War. The wine cellar adjoins the Great Hall and is said to experience tapping from a ghost known as Cooper. Various owners, staff, and guests of Athelhampton House have all seen what can only be described as a gray lady. The current owner of Athelhampton, Mr. Robert Cook, has reported seeing her in the early hours passing through the walls in the bedroom. A dark apparition that looked like a monk was seen by one of the housemates in broad daylight. The woman became aware of footsteps behind her in one of the corridors. She quickly turned to see the monk standing outside the bathroom door. It is believed that this person was the Catholic priest to the Martin family. Perhaps the most well-known ghost of them all is the pet ape, which was accidentally entombed in a secret passage behind the great chamber. Though the spirit has never been seen, you can often hear it scratching from the panels of the great chamber as it tries to escape. Number 10, the Tower of London. The Tower of London has sometimes been described as the most haunted building in Britain and has been investigated by countless paranormal investigators and teams over the years. The Wakefield Tower is thought to be haunted by the ghost of Henry VI, and on the anniversary of his death, his sad figure is said to pace around Wakefield Tower until the clock strikes midnight. The White Tower is thought to be haunted by the White Lady, who has been seen waving at groups of school children. Her perfume is also believed to linger around the White Tower, and the scent has made numerous guards physically ill. During its 900 years of existence, the Tower of London has earned the reputation as being the most haunted places in the UK. Thomas A. Becket is one of the first ghosts seen in the tower. When the inner curtain wall was still in construction, Thomas seemed to be very unhappy about it and reduced the wall to rubble with the strike of his cross. The grandfather of Henry III was said to be the reason for Becket's death, so he built a chapel in the tower for the archbishop. People believe that Becket was pleased with the chapel's construction because no further interruptions were reported after the incident with the inner curtain wall. Arabella Stuart is one of the castle's most famous ghosts. She was once seen as a potential successor to Queen Elizabeth I. It is said that her ghost stays in the Queen's house on Tower Green. According to the records, Arabella Stuart married the nephew of Lady Jane Grey, William Seymour. The marriage was thought of as a threat to the crown, and it did not have the permission of King James I. Arabella was put under house arrest at Lambeth while her husband William was sent to the Tower. Arabella plotted to get William released to travel together to France. However, William missed the rendezvous. Arabella set sail all alone, but she was recognized and was sent back, this time to the Tower. William, on the other hand, made it to freedom. She stayed there until she died in 1615, in the Queen's house at the age of 39, and it is believed that she was red-rummed in the castle. The most persistent of all ghosts in the Tower of London is that of no other than Queen Anne Boleyn. She was married to King Henry VIII. She was arrested and taken to Tower Green and was beheaded on the 19th of May, 1536. Several sightings of Anne Boleyn have been reported. She appears close to the site where she was executed and has also been seen leading a procession down the aisle of a chapel. Several people have reported seeing her headless body walking the tower's corridors. Number 11, Samlesbury Hall, Lancashire. Samlesbury Hall in Preston is a black and white medieval house that dates back to the 14th century. It is reported to be haunted by the ghost of Lady Dorothy Southworth, among others, and has been investigated twice by Most Haunted, once in 2004 and once in 2009. So the legendary White Lady is the hall's most famous ghost. Guests as well as employees have seen her on several occasions. It is said that the White Lady is the ghost of Dorothy Southworth. Lady Dorothy fell in love with a young man who was a member of the de Haunton family. Unfortunately, Lady Dorothy came from a Catholic family, and the de Hauntons were Protestants. The two lovers were not permitted to marry. They defied their family and continued to see each other. They would meet along the riverbanks of the Ribble. They planned to elope and marry each other, but someone got wind of the arrangement, and it was reported back to Samlesbury Hall. On the night of their arranged elopement, the lady's brother waited in ambush. As soon as the young de Hauton gentleman arrived, the lady's brother sprang from his hiding place and unalived the young man, as well as his two companions. They were hastily buried in the chapel grounds. The saddest part of it all was that Dorothy was there to witness all of it. She was inconsolable and had to be sent to a convent overseas. Lady Dorothy's spirit has lingered in the halls, and she is often seen floating down the many corridors of the hall, crying for the love she has lost. And our last place, number 12, is Chillingham Castle, Northumberland. Chillingham Castle dates way back to the 12th century and has its fair share of ghostly tales and encounters. It holds frequent ghost tours to allow visitors to spot some of the castle's otherworldly inhabitants, including that of a blue boy, a tortured child, and the ghost of Lady Mary in a spooky royal procession. Regarded as the most haunted castle in Northumberland, and perhaps the most haunted castle in England. Countless unalivements occurred here, with no less than 8 public executions too. The ghosts of these souls are thought to haunt the castle to this day. So there you have it. 12 different places in the UK. Stay tuned because I'm going to do more of the UK and Ireland, Scotland, all of that, because they are rich in history and ghosts. I've been there, experienced it, and love it. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the like button. Kind of gets the videos out there. And if you have any suggestions, comment below, or you can email me, which is in the description box. And go ahead and hit the notification bell because I do upload twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. So again, thank you for listening, and let me know of any suggestions, hints, tips that will help my channel. So thank you again, and until then, stay just a little scared.